Hey everybody, welcome back. I wanted to do a story for you, and it's Easter, so I've got my bunny ears on, and I'm going to read you a story about Hopscotch the Tiny Bunny. It's spring in this book. I see flowers blooming and a little tiny bunny. This story is written by Stephanie Calmenson and illustrated by Barbara Lanza. Let's read this story. Turn this for you. Mr. and Mrs. Rabbit had a house full of bunnies that made them very proud. One morning, Mr. Rabbit asked his bunnies to line up so he could count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He counted up to 10. Wait, cried Hopscotch, the tiny bunny at the center of the line. Hopscotch ran to his father and hopped up, up, up to his father's shoulder. "Ooh, that tickles," Mr. Rabbit said with a laugh. "You forgot to count me," Hopscotch shouted in his father's ear. "I'm so sorry," said Mr. Rabbit. "I will not let it happen again." And he gave Hopscotch a hug. So he counted 10 little bunnies, but he forgot to add Hopscotch. How many more? 10 and go up one more. 10, 11. There were 11 little bunnies. That night, Mrs. Rabbit was cutting carrot pie for her bunnies' dessert. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And she counted up to 10. Then she cut one piece for herself and one for Mr. Rabbit. "Wait," cried Hopscotch, "you forgot to cut a piece of pie for me." "I'm so sorry," said Mrs. Rabbit, and she gave Hopscotch the piece of pie she had cut for herself, and she let him sit on her lap while he ate it. When he finished eating his pie, Hopscotch went outside to join his sisters and brothers. They decided to play hide and seek. "Ready or not, here I come," called his brother. Hopscotch hid behind a mushroom, waiting to be found. He waited a very long time. He was still waiting when the sun went down. He was still waiting when he fell fast asleep. Oh no. The next morning Hopscotch woke all alone and a little confused. He started for home but turned the wrong way. He hopped and hopped and hopped. The world looks very big to a bunny as tiny as Hopscotch. Blades of grass seem as tall as trees, and rocks become mountains. And a cat as big as— "Meow!" screeched the cat. "Run for your life!" called a voice. Hopscotch followed the voice down into a hole in the ground. "Meow!" screeched the angry cat. "You're safe now," said a small gray field mouse. "Thank you," said Hopscotch. The mouse looked closely at Hopscotch. "You're small, but you're not a mouse, are you? Your ears are long and your tail is short and round. You look like a rabbit to me," said the mouse. "I am a rabbit," said Hopscotch. "Whatever you are, you're just the right size," said the mouse. "My name is Squeak. Do you want to play?" "Sure," said Hopscotch. They peeked out, and the cat was nowhere in sight. "Let's play hide and seek," said Squeak. "You hide first." Hopscotch was a little nervous about playing, but he agreed. "Ready or not, here I come," called Squeak. Hopscotch waited and waited, and then Squeak called, "I found you." "How did you find me so fast?" asked Hopscotch. "I never saw a mushroom with long fuzzy ears before," Squeak said, laughing. Hopscotch got to choose next. "Let's have a race." They were just the same speed. They skipped rope. They had a catch. They could even play leapfrog because they were just the same size. Hopscotch and Squeak played until they were tired and very hungry. They picked some leaves and seeds and went to the stream for a picnic. While they were eating, Hopscotch told Squeak how he got lost. "My family always forgets me. They probably don't even know I'm gone now." "My family forgets me too," Squeak said. "That's why I wrote them a note and ran away." The two friends sat quietly eating and thinking. Finally Squeak said, "I miss my family." "I miss mine too," said Hopscotch. "Let's go find them." Back at Rabbit's house, Mr. and Mrs. Rabbit and 10 bunnies were worried sick. Mr. Rabbit had lined up his bunnies, and this time he called Hopscotch. "You're the #1 bunny today." But Hopscotch didn't answer, and Mr. Rabbit called him again, and still no answer. The rabbits looked high and low for Hopscotch. His brothers and sisters hoped he was just playing. Come out, wherever you are," they called. But Hopscotch did not come out. Finally, Mrs. Rabbit cried, "Hopscotch is really gone." And the rabbits set out to find him. "Let's stick together," said Mrs. Rabbit. "We don't want to lose any more of our bunnies." At the same time, the mouse family was out looking for Squeak. Sniff, sniff. There was a strong smell in the air. It smelled like, what is that? Meow, screeched the big fat cat. Mr. and Mrs. Rabbit and their bunnies ran this way, and Mr. and Mrs. Mouse and their mice ran that way, and Hopscotch and Squeak headed for their hole in the ground, and they all ended up in the same place. Rabbits and mice all mixed together. "Mommy, Mommy, Daddy, Daddy, Hopscotch, Squeak." The cat did not make a sound. He was scared. He had never seen so many rabbits and mice all in one place before, so he turned and ran away. After much hugging and kissing, Hopscotch and Squeak and their families told everything that had happened. They all got along so well that the mouse family moved in next door to the rabbits. And every morning Mr. Rabbit counted 11 bunnies to make sure they were all there. And every night Mr. Mouse counted 8 mice. Hopscotch and Squeak stayed best friends, and no one ever forgot either one of them again. I like that story. What was the problem for Hopscotch and for Squeak? They were small, and they sometimes got looked over or forgotten. But they found each other, and they became what? Best friends. And they all ended up living next door to each other. Do you have a best friend? Maybe you're missing them right now, and that's okay. Maybe you can draw a picture of today's story, Hopscotch the Tiny Bunny, and maybe you can ask your mom or dad to mail it to your friend or to a grandparent or to a relative that maybe you're missing. I hope you enjoyed this story, and I'll see you soon.